for me, when I was doing the college application process, I didn't really know how to navigate it. So I just had a bunch of questions. I just didn't know if I wanted a big school, a small school, if I wanted to go away or stay in the city. But once I started applying and talking to like my advisor, he kind of convinced me to apply to Cornell. And so I came here on an overnight trip, and I was kind of I was able to sleep over with like a host. So, people like students sign up so they can be your host. And so I don't know, I was just kind of very confused because I don't know where anything was, but I think I just got a good vibe from it. And so once I got accepted, I kind of looked at it, and it's a really big school. And so I feel like a lot of people think because it's a big school, it's going to be hard to meet people and make that community. But me personally, being like an EOP student, like Widge was mentioning, we have to do the pre-freshman summer program. And so there it's like you kind of start building your network and your like support system. And so starting from there and then moving on to like fall semester, I kind of knew people and knew the campus. And I think I'm very happy with my decision because I don't know, I think just the people here in general really want you to succeed, and so your peers do.
Yeah, similarly, I chose Cornell because I was drawn by that sense of family. So I was drawn by the sense of, or this feeling of family specifically within the New York State Opportunity Programs. And this was because even before I got accepted, I received a call from one of the advisors at HEOP, and they suggested that I look more into EOP and HEOP in these programs. And like I said, before I even got accepted, I spent the past month communicating with this advisor back and forth, talking on the phone, emailing, faxing tax documents and forms that I've never seen before. And I felt like even as a prospective student, I felt like I was truly cared for. And there was so much personalized attention, even before I was accepted, before I decided, and things like that. So I was really drawn by that because I went to a pretty large high school that had like 2 college counselors for 1,500 students. And it was just I felt like I was just I don't know, a small fish in a big sea. Is that what they say? So I really enjoyed that sense of family, and I felt like I couldn't find that anywhere else.
The reason I chose Cornell, similar to other people, when I was applying to colleges, I didn't really know, where I saw myself in 4 years or anything like that. And I also didn't really know much about, university sizes, class sizes, and what kind of environment I would thrive in. But I did have a mentor who graduated from Cornell and said that I should at least look at, Cornell as an option. So after applying, I had the chance to visit Cornell and also stay overnight. And, I met a couple of current students who spoke about their experiences. And I mean, I guess they sold it well. It was the only college that I visited, but I really enjoyed being able to speak with those students and hear their experiences. And also just seeing the campus. It was really big, but it was also really beautiful. So it really drew me to it. So that's kind of why I chose Cornell.
So to deal with these challenges in my transition to college, I feel like I found community within the EOP and HEOP community. So because of the pre-freshman summer program, the program that we do before we enter our first semester at Cornell, I met some really close friends that come from very similar backgrounds as mine. And so having these peers to talk to or navigate college really helps. And additionally, I connected with my HEOP advisor who helped direct me to resources when I really needed help. So for example, I was able to find people to form study groups with through this advisor, various leadership opportunities and other resources. And specifically, the resources I did use were this place called the Learning Strategies Center to help with tutoring and writing essays and things like that. My arts and sciences advising dean that helped with finding different summer opportunities and internships and things like that. And also mental health wise, I really found the counseling and psychological services, also known as CAPS at Cornell's Health, to be really helpful. So these are just some of the resources that I found helpful.
I definitely agree with Cassandra. I think that another key thing that I really wanted to just emphasize was creating a network of people and individuals who share a similar background. Because I think, also if you're a freshman, you might want to connect with an upperclassman who, may have similar circumstances who you can talk to and network about ways that they've been able to overcome some of the difficulties. I think that just being able to connect with offices on campus. I was really close with Ansley. I hope he's still there. I'm not sure. Haven't been. Yes, awesome. So yes, Ansley has been one of my key supporters, talking that he's really cool. So yeah, having those connections with your advisor from the jump and is really useful, because they can support you in the ways that, your peers may not be able to support you, or your family member may not be able to support you. So asking them for help, so that they can guide you to different resources on campus, and also finding things that you enjoy. In high school, if you've played a sport that you really enjoyed, if you were a part of a chess club or a debate club or whatever team, feel free to explore those opportunities on campus once you arrive, because those are the things that keep us motivated and happy. So don't forget to include those different aspects into your life in college as well.
For me, I think because Cornell is so big, it has so many opportunities. Honestly, you can just Google it, go to their website, and there's just like like study abroad, internships, programs. So right now I'm a McNair scholar. That's kind of like I eventually want to go into grad school and just go into education, but that's just my personal thing. I think that's also a great support system because I never envisioned myself doing that, but learning more about the program and seeing like it is a possibility to get like a professional degree is kind of, a doctorate degree is kind of like crazy. But also as for study abroad, I was able to go to Cambodia for like 2 to 3 weeks and just learn about labor unions and just get to know the people, the culture. And so that was an amazing experience. If you're interested in something, Google it, ask your peers, ask your advisors, because I'm pretty sure that they know of opportunities. And if they personally don't know, they'll direct you to somebody who does know. And so just don't be afraid to network and just meet new people, because those people come in clutch. I was somebody at like an international fair. I was the only person in the Zoom room, and I was just like, let me just chat with this person, make it comfortable. And then a couple of days later, he was just like, there's this internship available if you want to do it. Like, just send me your resume and we can like figure something out. And I was just like, okay, so just like network and just don't be afraid to ask questions.
I can talk specifically about the study abroad experience I had. Again, Cornell has a lot of study abroad opportunities, not just throughout the semester, but also like over the winter breaks or summer breaks and things like that. For me, I had the opportunity to go to Uganda, India, and Brazil for my junior year spring semester. So I studied business, I studied finance and marketing, but I also minored in inequality studies. And over the course of that semester, I studied social innovation and entrepreneurship. So I got to study those different cultures, study their societies, and also study ways businesses try to kind of alleviate some of those social issues through their products and services. Overall, it was a really great experience. I got to really immerse myself in all those different cultures in such a short period of time. So, there's a lot of opportunities specifically for studying abroad at Cornell, and I suggest that everybody takes full advantage of that.
In terms of things I do outside of classes, I intern at the Women's Resource Center, and it's both my job and just something that I really enjoy doing. So I help with programming and our social media and things all around. So I feel like I've learned to also find community with not just students, but also professors and TAs and various different directors of the centers, staff, and stuff like that. So that really helps in terms of finding community and networking.
I think everybody keeps talking about PSP, but I'm just going to reiterate it again. PSP is really where I found most of my, so TSP is the summer program before freshman year. And the same friends that I made during that program are still my friends now, even after graduating. And those are the people that have supported me throughout my classes. We've all been through the same struggles. We've, triumphed a lot of challenges along the 4 years that we've been together. So people at HEOP, the HEOP program and at OADI, those have been the people, and peers that have been fundamental to me. And I think that outside of that, I think for some reason I'm thinking about my major, my department in DSOC is really, really small, and we all kind of knew each other, and that's sort of rare at Cornell because it's such a huge university. But I think knowing the sort of connections that I had in my department and having key relationships with professors was really important to me, and building relationships so far in that whatever projects or whatever sort of opportunities that professors had, they would kind of guide you in that. So I've had several research opportunities. I've had, winter break experiences where I would go out and do some service. And that was, it was not only fun, but it was something that I've learned a lot from just the experience. And then again, joining professional clubs and organizations like professional development like P3 or McNair, joining those and being a part of the admissions process through CU Image, which is another organization on campus that focuses on increasing multicultural admissions and knowing staff like Richard and Alyssa and everyone else. So that's been really fun.
My best experience at Cornell has definitely been my freshman year PE course. So I did Adirondack canoe camping with one other EOP HEOP friend in the program. So in this PE course, we did weekend trips on Beebe Lake, which is a lake on Cornell's campus, and Cayuga Lake. And then over fall break, which is in October, a 4-day weekend break, we went on an excursion. So we traveled to the Saranac Lakes and the Adirondacks, and it was in the middle of October. So the leaves were changing and it was super beautiful. I definitely had a bit of a culture shock, I guess, because as a first gen low income city kid, I'd never gone camping before. I don't know how to start a fire. I don't know how to set up a tent or anything about the outdoors, to be honest. So I was really intimidated, but I had really helpful leaders trip leaders that were super accommodating and just understanding of everything. And it was just a really life-changing experience.
I had a professor who I love dearly, and I took all her classes, Professor Jamila Michener. She's in the government department, and she is one of the probably the only woman of color professor that I've ever had in my undergrad career, which is really sad in itself. But I think that, and I also took Latinos in the US, so I intently tried to take classes with professors of color because I was someone who was interested in going to get a PhD. And so I felt like it was fundamental for me to learn from people of color and professionals of color who have their PhD. And so she is someone who I've admired for a really long time, someone whose journey is similar to mine. She grew up in Brooklyn. She moved to Queens. She graduated and she was an first generation college student and went on to the University of Chicago to get her PhD. And she's someone who who is very personal and someone who loves taking on different mentees. And she's someone who mentored me throughout my undergrad. And I've also got an opportunity to, do research with her over the summer for one of her research projects. So that was great and an amazing opportunity for me.
My word of advice would just be to keep an open mind and to be proud of who you are, because at first I was afraid to try new things and ask for help because I was stuck in this mindset where I felt like I had this imaginary pressure that I put on myself to be exactly who I was from high school. And the fact is that everyone grows and changes in college, and you're going to encounter different experiences that are going to really challenge you and you're going to grow from, and that's a great thing to have.
Yeah, the thing that I keep thinking about is advocating for yourself and your needs. You know, when you're, especially for first generation college students, you don't know when you need help because you haven't experienced before. Your parents haven't experienced it. You know, when you're looking over your financial aid package and you don't know how to read something, or you're confused about your package or your award letter, ask someone because they're going to know something. Maybe, you know, maybe you contact Wood, or maybe you contact your college counselor. Just asking those questions and not being afraid to say, hey, I don't know how to read this, or I may not understand this. Can you help me figure it out? You know, having those key questions in mind and advocating for yourself, and you know, making sure you're getting all your answers met, or your questions answered, because you know, without those curiosities in mind or questions in mind, you're never going to sort of figure it out on your own. You're going to need a team of experts on your side. So having that at your disposal is key.